Hey, hello.
Lisa,
Yes, hi, Sean. How you doing?
good. How you doing? Thanks for
Thanks.
thanks for coming
Of
on, having a conversation.
course.
Lisa, the
What would you
teacher,
like to
and I
talk
just
about today?
realized, right, with you, like I just learned
Okay.
today. I didn't realize you're also.
Yes. What did you think I
So there you
was?
go. I thought you were a teacher. I was like, oh, cool. We'll talk to someone who's a teacher. I have a friend
Yeah.
who's a teacher, so I
hmm
find people in education are interesting because you're important to.
Well, I just retired from teaching, actually. I did. Yeah, I did my 28 years, probably a little bit longer,
Dang,
and yeah, 25 in the public school system, middle school, ELA. hmm
that's
It was
that's
fun.
wow, that's pretty cool.
hmm
So what led you to?
Well, I always like to tell jokes. I used to do a lot of writing. So one
Nice,
day I said, you know what, I just wanted to do it, like throw it on my bucket list, get it over with. And I was young. I was probably in my 30s. And I went to an just an open mic in Philadelphia. I was on South Street. I think it was a Laugh House. And I just walked in
nice,
there and sat down. I invited one person from out of town because I didn't want any of my family and friends, to judge me. And I
right.
I went up on stage and they told me after a couple of minutes, "It's time for you to come back down, ma'am. It's time for you to come back down." Yeah, I probably bombed, but it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. And after
Nice.
that, it was just, I said, I don't ever have to do this again. And then when I was about 51, I decided I should do it again for my birthday. I had a birthday party. I had a comedy show, and then from there, I continued the interest.
Nice.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And it's interesting when you do something later in life and you have like, let's just see what happens if, it doesn't work out, then cool, like
Right.
dire. So then you can enjoy yourself and take
Exactly.
time and so
Mhm.
and you have stories
But
and
here I
stuff. You have like a whole
eh
life.
right. And I just got back from a 5-day comedy festival in New York City, and it was,
Nice.
absolutely amazing. It was the Black Women in Comedy Laugh Fest, 7th annual,
Nice.
and, it was
Wow.
amazing. Great people, 5 days. I performed 3 different nights, one at the New York Comedy Club and one at, the Harlem Comedy Club of Harlem, and also the Grizzly Pear, which is right like Center City. Mhm. So it was
Nice.
awesome. We had workshops. It was all organized by a woman named Joanna. Um, I was gonna do that. I knew I was gonna do this. Joanna Briley. That senior brain of mine. I can't remember anyone's names. Joanna
It's
Briley
okay.
organized it. hmm
That sounds fun. I would say I wish I had gone. I used to live in Chicago. And originally, I wanted to pursue music and do that, and then it just kind of just changed and everything after 2000, and so I was kick myself because I should have gone to Second City and got immersed into comedy and then at least learn how to write or something because I like
Yeah.
it. It reminds me of me.
Never too late.
I know. It's like
hmm hmm
there's not much of that because I did up here. We have a theater company, but I'd prefer to do a class. No worries.
I'm in South Jersey. I'm in an area called Willingboro, New Jersey, where I actually grew up, and
Nice.
probably be here for the rest of my life. But I'm cool with that.
No, that's
hmm
great. Wherever you feel home, right? Like that's
Right.
where. So, what are your goals within comedy? Like, what do you want to? Did you have any, or you just like doing stuff?
My goal is to just take this as far as it will take me. You know, It's just doing local clubs and events. If it takes me, on a plane to go to, different countries, I'll shoot. I'll do that too. What's there to lose? Nothing to lose.
Nice.
Yeah.
I contacted a guy, or he got back to me, and he's like 75, and he done like years of comedy, and did like three see, now I can't remember. Um UFO.
Mm,
So, you never know, and he's still pretty, pretty hot with like, it's never too late, you should just always do what you want to do and pursue.
yes. And I hope to be an inspiration to other people. That's my goal. Is for people to see me and say, "You know what? Maybe I'll try something new. I'll find out, what my talents are." You know?
Right.
I'm retired now. I have time to do that. Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You got kids?
I do. All my kids are grown. My eldest is 38 and my youngest is
Nice.
21. Yeah.
But it's
That's how
interesting.
I
My other
I
daughter's
estimated all my kids'
30.
ages too, so
Right.
mhm.
That's pretty cool. No grand.
Do have a couple of grandkids.
Oh wow.
One's pretty old. Yeah, one's pretty old. He's
That's
like in
funny.
his early 20s now. Yep. And
Oh my god.
his and his sister is 7. So there's
Oh,
that
okay, cool.
big
You
gap,
got a
but
little one.
they're both great. They're both my
That's
babies,
cool.
no matter how old they get.
Right.
Mhm.
Um, I have a 9-year-old granddaughter, and then my new little granddaughter. She's a couple, one in a month or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
No, 2 months. Yeah. It's pretty
Mhm.
cool. I like it, and it kind of like it's a different cool thing in your life. That's special because it's only you can have it when you're older, and
Yeah,
like it's pretty cool. I'm glad. I'm happy
yeah.
being there.
I don't babysit so much though. I know I'm asked to babysit, but,
Really?
a little bit busy. I'm running these streets doing comedy, it can't always
Running
be
street.
there.
Right. Yeah, I got busy. I got a new life. Come on.
Mhm.
You're grown.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's funny.
Okay.
Very cool. So you mentioned, I think it's something, and you mentioned in your profile that like something related to being a teacher is kind of like, it's similar to comedy because you're kind of performing, teaching kids. You gotta,
Yeah.
right, you gotta keep them kind of interested.
Yeah, I think teaching was the perfect job for me because 1, I loved literature, I loved writing poetry, so, I was an English teacher. 2, I've also done, like, security work. One of my earlier jobs was security at Great Adventure, so I feel like, I had a little bit of security officer, in the job of teaching,
Wow.
and you're a performer, when you're in the
Right.
in the classroom, you gotta keep their interest somehow. I used to start out with jokes and, it worked, or roast a couple of the kids when they got out of line, you say a few words to them. Try not to hurt their feelings too badly, but it's that's what you do, yeah,
Um,
so it's mm,
my friend does that too. She mentioned that she's not very tall.
mhm,
She's a little taller, shorter than me. But that's how she handled her kids is, especially the teenagers, especially the guys, like they'd
yes,
have like this attitude or whatever. They would try to fuck with her, and she'd be like, whatever. I know you, but and get down. It's like I'm your teacher. I know a lot about you. So, and they'd
that's
be like,
right.
oh, just tell. It's like, yeah, like,
Yeah, that's the best thing about teaching, you it's a little bit of everything. So,
right.
I enjoyed it, I enjoyed my time, 25 years teaching middle school all the way through high school,
That's
and,
wild.
Yeah, now I can get on stage and talk about them.
You ever thought about for like another
I
avenue?
about it. I mean, I used to do some impersonations of, like, Sesame Street characters.
I mean, well, that's interesting too. Like there was this movie that came, I can't remember, Melissa McCarthy, and it was
Okay.
like live action slash puppets kind of. It was really funny. A murder, like the interaction. Man, they should tap into that more. That style, like a little more wild.
Yeah, I would love to do that. If AI hasn't taken over that,
God,
I would love to do it.
I
Taking
know.
over everything.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, AI, but it's so many the education, like what some teachers have to deal with in some states, like ridiculous laws and rules they're trying to enforce, tip and all.
Okay, so the rules that they're trying to okay, what do you could you give me more of an example? So
Um, let's see. Looking at your social media and getting in trouble for saying anything
mm,
like removing parts of history and kind of
oh,
that kind of stuff where
censorship, yeah.
it's like censorship, and then funding
Mhm.
in itself is pretty gross when they just gave a bunch of money to and all that and border.
Yeah, I believe in the freedom of speech, and, I don't believe that anybody should money should not enter into this conversation, if somebody's
Right.
making money off of something or you wanna twist the words to fit your agenda, I I feel that's wrong. I just people should have the right to voice their opinions, not thrilled with any type of censorship, even book banning. I'm not thrilled about that, and certainly not changing history. Like, don't go in
Right.
and try and change history. Yeah, because that's what we learn
Absolutely.
from. That's how we learn what to do now in our lives, what
Right.
our moral decisions and, these should be based on looking to the past and saying, that was, that was a bad deal and that's something that should never happen again. And that way we
Right.
can identify it and make sure that it never happens again. But I guess money seems to be surpassing all of that. The people are greedy,
It's crazy.
money over people.
Even in comedy, it's become so like kind of political and like groups of and it just it's war of words in some camps and the show in Saudi Arabia. There were so many comedy or
Mhm.
comedians going there, and I liked a lot of them. And I was like, damn, this money just rules everything.
Right.
Sucks.
And I definitely don't do any, well, right now I don't do political comedy. I've thought
That's
about it.
cool.
I mean, I've said enough at home, about
Yeah,
my beliefs and thoughts on that, but I haven't really I haven't really put that onto my audiences.
yeah,
So just come and laugh. Just come to my show and laugh and have a good time. Let's
sure.
not talk about politics at the show.
That's
Mhm.
cool. I was just curious,
Yeah.
because I always find it interesting what you know. Want to hear what the teacher has to say because you always hear it's always the teacher's fault. So I like to hear it from the perspective
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
the
And
people
you
who
learn
do.
being a teacher not to say certain things anyhow. K I'm
Right.
so used to censoring myself as a
Yeah.
teacher, not one of my jokes is that, for 25 years, I've had to suppress the word motherfucker, and
Yeah.
the whole time being surrounded by a bunch of smart ass little motherfuckers.
Right.
It
Right.
but that's what it's
Yeah.
like. You can't say certain things.
Right. You gotta learn control
Mhm.
and put
Yeah, it's okay. And as a
presence.
teacher, you have to be careful as well because
Right.
you can easily lose your job for saying the wrong thing on social media, in the public.
Yeah.
We have to self-censor. Mhm. But
Yeah.
I'm retired now, so I don't exactly
Well,
have to abide by all of those rules.
cu-
Right. Mhm,
Sweet.
mhm.
Well, hey, Lisa, the teacher, I appreciate talking to you. I appreciate you working with my unprofessional interviews, but so I was just trying to tell you, we're just to have conversations, and I like talking to people, and it's just a really cool way to talk to people in different backgrounds and
Yes.
careers and stuff.
Well, if you don't mind, can I promote just a couple of things that I'm doing?
You
I
can do whatever you want. Yeah.
okay. A while ago, I did write a children's book called Tucker Took the Train, and
Oh
that is
wow.
on Amazon. You can also find it on my website, which is ldswint.com. And I also did a little political, I guess it's political coloring book, which
Oh
is
wow.
the I did the woke values for children coloring book, which is just basically about treating everyone with respect, all different nationalities, appreciating
Nice.
people and their choices and giving and helping others in need. And that's all that that's about. So, look for those things on Amazon and, I'm sure I'll be doing some more stuff as well.
Well, sweet.
More
Well,
books in the future. Mhm.
good. That sounds keep it going, and I support that. If you could, like, I guess you said Amazon. If you have like if you have a link to that, you can, if you could send it to me, and I'll check it out.
Absolutely, I will send you that. Thank you. Mhm.
Sweet. All right. You have a good night, a good day, and you
Thank
take
you,
care.
Sean.
Be safe.
It was
All
great
right.
talking
Nice
with you.
meeting you. You
You
too.
too. Bye-bye.
Good
Thank you.